Alright, see what's on Kickstarter today. Rehydrating paper towel, color matching LEDs, an auto brush licker, the dry wet palette. This needs to stop. Yeah, I think we've all been there. Spending too much money on Kickstarter for things that are eventually going to end up collecting dust in our hobby cabinets. So what if we just took a bunch of cheap things to make like the same product? All we're really going to need is cork and magnets. Now, if YouTube analytics tell me anything, most of you don't recognize this guy right here. But you could. This guy comes out whenever I work with magnets in the hobby. Helps me keep everything straight and aligned correctly. And it is stupid easy to make. As you can see, it is a single piece of cork, and then I have a magnet glued on the top and the bottom. Now, these magnets are actually facing the same way. So if we were to take a magnet, put it on top, it'd be polarized to the positive, and put it on bottom, it'd be polarized in the negative. Alright, now that we have the magnetic equivalent of a utility knife finished, let's make some other products. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't used another hobby holder since I made myself one of these. All comes down to big piece of cork with a washer and small piece of cork with a magnet. And the process is just as simple. We're going to take this cork we just bought off of Amazon, and we're going to cut it into thirds. No reason to be exact. With that done, we're going to super glue on some magnets. I highly recommend you pull out the utility knife again, so that way all of these magnets you're gluing on are polarized the same way. You're going to want to do this because if the magnet side of these guys are polarized to attract to each other, you're going to run into some issues where if you place them too close, the ends are going to snap together, maybe even breaking the models that are attached to them. Yeah, it's happened to me once or twice. Now for here, super glue is fine. You can do something like an epoxy or a Gorilla Glue if you'd like, but it's really not necessary. Next step, we're going to take our big cork and glue a washer onto it. Now, I hope it goes without saying, it doesn't matter which end the washer is facing. And then for like less than $5, you have one of the best miniature holders I've ever had. Keep in mind too, just because I use that big piece of cork to glue my washer onto doesn't mean you have to. Put on whatever you want. Disposable cup, pop can, really you can just super glue it to just about anything. Alright, on to mini storage. Now this is going to be another pretty easy one. Only two real components in here. That's going to be the really useful box that you can get from any office supply store, some steel sheets I cut down from the Home Depot, and then some kind of adhesion. You could probably use a caulk or a liquid nails on this. 9 liter? Good. 4 liter? Great. 8.1 liter? Is poopy. Don't get it. Alright, first problem you might run into is cutting down these steel sheets. Now remember, you're a nerd, and a nerd has nerd friends, and nerd friends might cosplay, and cosplayers have an 83% chance of owning a Dremel. Or sometimes if I don't want to spend all day on my Dremel, I'll ask my buddy if I can borrow his angle grinder. That's an option too. Alright, now cutting these sheets does have some actual hazards to it. Always wear protective eye equipment when you're cutting these metal sheets, as sparks and little bits of metal can go flying out. Also, be really careful around those cut edges. They're going to have a lot of burrs and will cut you very easily. Now, I've mostly been using liquid nails to glue these down, but you could probably use a type of caulking or silicone. I'm starting to think something with a little bit of give into it might be more preferable than the liquid nails I've been using. Now, sometimes the metal can have a little bit of a bend to it, so make sure you really weigh it down in there so everything's adhering to the surface. Yeah, I'm not going to use these anytime soon. Now, drying time's gonna vary. I'm gonna be honest, I usually have to let these sit for like 2 days. Now, something else you can do if you want to be a little extra careful is glue some foam sheets just to line those edges in there. Keep your bits from potentially falling into those little cracks and getting lost. Also greatly reduces the odds that you're gonna cut yourself on those edges. And I use these all the time. They're perfect for transporting my models. Just here you can see the Blood Bowl team I use in the League and the start of my Star Wars Legion army. Now I've got one more for you, but I need to go find it real quick. No. Not here. Ah, there we are. Okay, yeah, baking sheets aren't technically DIY, but nonetheless I think they fit into this list. I use them as a work in progress bench all the time. Most of the time you'll see me stack these guys up full of models that I'm in the middle of painting, or things I want to get ready for a D&D session the next week. Side bonus, I designed these little hobby storage things for myself so they could fit into these baking sheets and some deeper tubs so I can hold all my painting and hobby supplies. Let me know if you want a tutorial on that one in the future. It's all my DIY for today. Hopefully you got a couple of ideas from it. Now, erstwhile, why don't you try DIYing yourself a little? Do it yourself? Then check me out every other Monday if you want some more crafting misadventures. And in the event that you like what I'm doing here and you want to show it off, go ahead and follow or tag me on Instagram. Alright, bud. See you next time.